Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesdays Talking Town. It's Hump Day, it's Wednesday, and we're live with your match day preview. Another fixture lies ahead this weekend. Lincoln at home. We return back to our church, our place where we are together as one, singing in unison and hopefully seeing some more absolutely drop-dead gorgeous football. But as I say, Lincoln are the visitors. We'll get into a little bit of the conversation as we go through the course of the evening. Of course, we've got the debacle that is the shirts for Derby. We'll cover that. 27,000 fans expected at Portman Road this weekend. Injury updates on two players. Got the tickets giveaway. We'll do that towards the end of the show. We've got the tickets to give away. Owen says, I'm a Talking Town. Forgot there'll be a show tonight. Owen, welcome in, my brother. I hope you are well. I hope Matt Stannard's doing well. 80's in the room. Mark Dowling, lots and lots and lots of people. Particularly a really busy chat because I didn't only mess the show schedule up once, not twice, but I messed it up 3 times. But yeah, we are live, 8:30 as always. Not 8 o'clock, not 8:15, not 8:20, 8:30. What can I say? You try and do too many things, you never get one thing done right. But we're live. That's the most important thing. And you can support the Talking Town platform by heading to our Ko-Fi site or hitting join on YouTube. We have a weekly prediction league. A new prediction league is now in play. Let me run through the fixtures for you. We have got Ipswich versus Lincoln, of course. Watford versus Norwich. Cambridge versus Sheffield Wednesday, Swindon versus Colchester, and on Sunday, Lewis Robertson will be pricking his ears up wherever he may be this evening because we have Motherwell at home to Rangers in the prediction league. Obviously, Matt Penny, one of Lewis's star performers at the agency Robertson, is playing. We suspect. Quick question: could JD do it in the Championship? Don't start him off again, whatever you do. Good Lord, I think he's only just calmed himself down. But do get involved. 3 to the free prediction league. Right, before we go any further, hit the like button. It costs you nothing. It helps the platform. Hell, hit the dislike button. I am bothered. Just hit one of the thumbs up or thumbs down. All the interaction does help the platform. And Lewis says, I'm in the chat. Penny, first goal scorer at 1-0. Here we go. Right, let's get cracking. Let's bring our first contributor in. He is one of 2 stars on rock. Alex Wilson.
You're not going to play amazing football every game.
It's quite ironic because we are playing amazing football every single game. How are you, first of all?
Oh, good, guys. Looking forward to Saturday. So, yeah.
This is it.
Really good.
But, you know, as I said at the start, so you're one of 2 technical stand-ins. Everyone around us is getting unwell, is feeling sick. You know, it's the time of the month. It's the lurgies, you know, around and everything. But you're doing well over there in the Ivory Towers.
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Prediction league-wise, Watford versus Norwich, big tie. If you're a Watford fan or a Norwich fan, I guess, for nobody else, the football family don't really give a job. But Watford versus Norwich, who's your money going on there?
I think it's going to be tight. I do. Because two form teams in that league. So I'm going to go Watford 1-0.
Watford 1-0. Oh, I'd take that all day long. I don't know what. I literally just filled it in. I can't remember what I put. I think I put 2-1 Watford. But I really want to put 0-0. And the only people that don't win on this occasion is football. Football doesn't win when Watford play Norwich. Or when Norwich play anybody, to be fair.
Because haven't Watford just appointed Slavan Bilic, I think, is their manager for the next 3 months.
Do you know, I think they have my will, to be honest with you, full of managerial names, and every so often they'll just say, spin that wheel, and then a new manager will have his turn. And you know, you never know. Our next contributor might be on that wheel one day. You know, he's got his badges, as you know. You know, he could be the next Watford fan. We know he loves a good 4-4-2. What's your favourite formation before I bring him in?
I personally like either 3-5-2 or 4-3-3, personally.
Do you know what? That's probably as close as you are going to get to agreeing with this. He'll have you on strings. The Fisherman, Mike Brown.
I've already said, and I've said on Twitter and whatever.
Mankini Mike, the Fisherman, Mike Bassett, 4-4-2, however you know him, here he is. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm really well. Yeah, I'm good. Selves, how is everybody?
Yeah, we're all good this end, Mike. It's really good to have you back on the platform. You know, technically 3 times in a week. We are getting spoiled with the Fisherman this week. It is, a Fisherman frenzy. Yes. Well, I feel honoured more than anything because it's always nice to have the opinions of an esteemed coach such as yourself on the platform. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
If anybody ain't seen them, you should look there on Twitter. There's a guy called Kevin. He's done a Mike Bassett meme of me and stuff. That's brilliant. I got it's just really good. It's really good. Looks really good as well.
It does. I did show a couple of them on Monday's show.
Yeah, it's good.
But
really good.
They are quite good. But I say this is the first time you two might agree. I'm not joking there. You know, if this is the yin, this is the yang, that's the yang, this is the yin, because you two are very different ends of the spectrum in terms of how you support your football club. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you two sort of come up with this evening. But we are back at Portman Road. But before we get back to Portman Road, a new job is available in the Championship, which means, of course, Kieran McKenna's name is once again being linked. Any concerns with Middlesbrough and McKenna's name being linked with it, Mike? Is this something we've got to get used to? What would tempt McKenna away from Portman Road? Would anything have tempted him away from Portman Road?
He's come here for the project. There's no way in a million years he's going to Middlesbrough. If he does, then that would say more about him than it would be than anything. If he was if in hindsight, look, I don't even know why we're talking about it because he's not going anywhere. But on the 0.0001% that he does go, he would lose all the respect of the fans for doing that. You know, we have got a project here, and it's a long-term project, and okay. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if he'd go to Middlesbrough. He'd have to rebuild. He'd have to rebuild there. You know.
That's fair point. Fair point. Alex, is it something that we've got to get used to as Town fans?
Yeah, definitely, because he is one of the most exciting up and coming young managers in the game. There's no 2 ways about it. But I actually totally agree with the Fisherman. I saw a tweet earlier on, so I don't know how true this is, but apparently, although he's held in high regard by Borough, they don't want to pay compensation. Is what I've read. So, and you can imagine if Kieran McKenna, that's going to be some fairly lofty, compensation involved. And I also agree with what Mike said. I think it was Monday's show. You know, Kieran, don't get me wrong, Kieran McKenna has come here and done amazing things for this football club, and is going to do amazing things for this football club. But the fact remains, he hasn't done anything yet. He's not got us up. He's not won a trophy. He's had a solid managerial start. I think before he possibly starts looking at other clubs, or other clubs start looking at him with any seriously higher up the pyramid, there needs to be some standout event, shall we say, on his CV, which I don't think there is at the minute. And that's not me saying he doesn't deserve a move, or could he? But at the end of the day, you're basing that on half a season of good form, and these clubs that we're getting linked with, like West Brom and Borough, that they want to be out of the Championship and back in the Prem. So
well, West Brom might get their wish if they wait long enough. Out of the Championship, certainly, just not going to the Premier League.
And especially like the Brom. And look at both Borough and West Brom are lower end of the Championship. So if that goes wrong, he could be back in a year's time in the same position he's with us. Whereas he might as well stay with us and go on that journey of taking us up the pyramid. It wouldn't make sense for him to jump now.
No, fair point. We've got a couple of comments coming in. Lewis, I don't want to spend too long on this, because obviously it is just a link, and I just wanted to know what sort of jobs, if any, would perhaps be the ones that tempt, or certainly would raise an eyebrow and think, maybe. Lewis O'Connor says loyalty is rare in football. Mike, do you think McKenna cares about the respect of ITFC fans, seeing as he's bettering his career, although Borough isn't really a step up from us. Gino, everyone in football, if they're ambitious, have their prize, but I think he'll want to take Town to the Premiership first. Mark Downing, welcoming Mark. He's going nowhere this season. He thinks he's taking us as far as he can. He'll go, and that I suggest is no time soon. His next Man United coach, well respected, doing great things in the game, Mike. What sort of job would really be tempting to him? Is there one, do you feel, in English football, obviously outside of the Premier League, that there really is?
No, I really don't. Look at our infrastructure now is, we have owners in place that can give him the tools to do really well and make a name for himself. If he's going to jump ship at the first opportunity of a Premier League job or a first opportunity at top end of Championship job, then his whole idea of coming here was pointless.
Okay.
If Kieran McKenna, he would lose. Look, whether he cares about the fans, respect of the fans or not, it's not just the respect of us. He would sort of be questioned. You've only got to look at some of the other managers that have jumped ship and gone on to try and do things at other clubs and end up falling flat on their face.
But that won't ever stop somebody from wanting to, perhaps, if they feel this opportunity presents itself. But no, I hear you. And I don't think, though, Mike, sorry to cut across you, I don't think this will be the first or last time while Kieran McKenna is manager of our club that we have this conversation about he's being linked here.
I think he'll be here right the way through to the Premier League. I really do.
Okay.
As long as he continues doing what he's doing, I think he'll go right through to the Premier League.
Talking of
a couple of years,
the Premier League, or McKenna, anyway, 27,000 fans expected at Portman Road this Saturday, Alex. It's an exciting time to be a Town fan. As I said at the start of the show, sexy football. It's really good stuff. But what excites you the most about us at the moment? What gets you on a Wednesday evening, a Thursday morning, a Tuesday lunchtime? And you think, Town are at home this Saturday. What's the excitement particularly about for you?
I think it's the football we're playing. I think that's a huge thing, and I think of so many, after so many years in the wilderness of and having an owner that we know now, and Mark Ashton has said it, strip the club back to its absolute bare minimum, having an ownership, and a structure in place that have got a very clear vision of where they want to take this club. And what's exciting for me is it's not a case of a fan jumping on when we're when we're a top end Championship club. It's being on that journey of seeing us go League One, and it's just being on that journey right from the absolute lowest ebb for us as a football club to what we hope is going to be, the absolute top ebb for us as a football club. So it's having an ownership that know what they want and are prepared to back a manager to go out and get it. Yeah,
Mike, what excites you particularly about? Obviously, I know for various reasons, work being one of them, Saturdays aren't always easy for you to attend, but you must have that excitement feeling the same way we all do, whether you're in Suffolk, in Ipswich, wherever you are in the country, the world, the universe. You've got that excitement.
Having access to the live games makes it so much different for someone like myself and many others who can't get to the game. And I can honestly say, whether it be a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, or a Friday or a Saturday kickoff, you wake up that morning and you're like, right, okay, so I've got to do this, but I've got to get back for 3:00, or I've got to get back for 8:15, or I've got to, if you're going to the game, you're like, right, I need to be getting this done by about 3:00 so I can leave early enough to get to the game. That I don't think, if I'm honest, there's not a feeling. Look, I love my fishing, and my fishing is my passion more than anything, and there's nothing more of a buzz than waking up to a screaming run and playing a fish in the dark. It's great fun, but it's a different feeling when you're waking up on that morning and you know that your club is playing. Even better if you're going. If you're going to the game, it's like, it is a day out, really. It's like, it's a good few hours out. And without taking football aside, the amount of people I've met through this channel alone, some good, some not so good, and all that, you know. But the reality is you know, for the mental health side of things, you know, when the club is doing so well now, and with what we've tolerated the last 2 years with, you know, some of this locking the country down and all that, and not being able to go to football, you know, it's a massive thing for a lot of people that used to go to the games every week. You know, people like Colin, you know, devoted fan, goes every week. Cruncher, devoted fan, goes every week. Alex, I assume, I know you can't go to all the games, Martin, but you go to many home games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't realise how important it is to those fans. And I'm one that's sitting there most of the time on a Saturday watching it behind the screen. But for fans who go to the game, it's so important. It's important for their mental health.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very important, very important.
80 Crouch, the crowds inside and out the ground tell a story in itself, wanting to get to the ground early, big crowds in the fan zone. Mark Dowling also get a bigger budget. The championship here, more than Middlesbrough was given than he suggests. Back to the McKenna thing. Big smiles all around Saturday. It's just the general buzz around the football club. 27,000 for a third tier game against Lincoln. Just real fun, you know, phenomenal stuff. We did say on Monday's show before we go on to the next talking point, which is the shirts, the Derby home game, particularly. We'll get on to that in a second. If you've got something to say on that, please let us know in the chat. Ask for the link. Come on the show and have your say about it. Lots of various different opinions on is it right, is it wrong, tradition, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you feel, whatever your say, come on and have it in your own words. But before we do, on Monday, we kicked off the internet funnies. I want to try and bring as many funnies as I can to the Monday show. It's a Monday, and Monday's just generally, they're shit. It's Monday. Back at work, all of that sort of thing. So we're asking if you see something on the internet that's funny, tag the social media accounts, send it to the DMs, email homedressing89@gmail.com. But I wanted to ask both your opinions on this that I came across on the internet today. Okay, it's from an account called Football Shithousery, and it's He Got the Ball Referee. All right. So I want you to talk me through what you think of this as a challenge, Mike. I mean, you know,
is it me or is that Cruncher?
He got a ball, Alex. It just wasn't the ball.
That's not far off the challenge on Chaplin on Saturday.
It's a meaty challenge, is that? For you know, it's not one
of VAR would make it that.
But say play on.
Yeah, they probably say,
I think we're that in a wrestling ring, for God's sake.
Yes, absolutely. It's got a great form for a missile drop kick, that has, Alex, to be fair. You know, they'd be good at that. Nigel de Jong versus Spain, says Owen Griffiths. Lee Bayliss, it's just a yellow. It's just a yellow. Oh, good grief. What a challenge. Oh,
that is just brilliant.
It's going to hurt in the morning. That's the sort of thing we want on a Monday. Get them into me, into the platform, and we'll try and get them. Just have a laugh and raise the spirits. But, you know, McKenna's doing that all by himself at the moment. Carl Brooks, it's not clear and obvious. Play on. Right.
Does anybody remember that? Remember that red card Solskjaer got against, I can't think, Newcastle, I think it was. Newcastle's player was on goal. Yeah, that's just brilliant. He was on goal, and Solskjaer came running back and just literally took his legs out and took a red because it was what's the name? But that just reminded me of something similar like that. No attempt to play the ball whatsoever.
The bad news is the referee in this game is also one for Saturday. He's not really. But Vinnie Jones making a comeback and Kevin Keats, Monk on the mean machine. Yes, absolutely. Right. What is clear and obvious is the Derby home game has been selected for our blackout kit. I think it's called a blackout kit. It's first airing live on the Sky cameras, which of course has set the cat among the pigeons. Alex, what's your thoughts on this one? Not the traditional blue and white, not the home shirt as billed. It is the third strip live on the Sky cameras.
I'm going to be controversial. I think I'm going to be controversial here, but I'm okay with it.
Okay, tell me why.
You know, because it's that kit has got people buzzing, and you know, I've not seen a clamour for a kit like that ever at the Town Fan. I think, and at the end of the day, if we've all spoken about, you know, potentially wanting to get new eyes on the football club, bring in new fans, and it's only a shirt, but if it's a shirt that grabs people's imaginations, and you know that they see us playing in it, and they think, you know, and it gets more eyes and more fans, and you know, more people come into games in the long run, then I think it's a good move. You know, I don't think it'll be something that happens regularly. I think it would be silly not to capitalise on the buzz that this shirt has created. And for me, it's one game, you know, and I think the potential benefits that could be brought to the club, you know, both in terms of increasing the fan base and obviously on a commercial side, you know, I'm prepared to not play in a blue shirt for one game.
Okay. Lee Brown has seen on fan front that the way shirt we'll be wearing, we must have come a long way from previous season. Been moaning about that. 80 says, not sure I like the idea of wearing the black shirt for a home game. I think the club should keep it for more than one season, to be fair to the fans still waiting to buy one. Stephen Parry, we're in League One. Of course, we were run as a traditional club. Football's a business, and time we caught up. Anthony Still, on the other hand, we are playing at home. We should always wear our traditional colours. There'll be plenty of chances to wear the third kit in the upcoming away matches. The whole thing smacks of selling out, Ferran. Mike, what's your thoughts?
I can see both sides. There is an argument for, you know, look, I think it's a bit of a PR stunt, if I'm honest. I'm not a fan of, I think if you're playing at home, you play your home kit. But I just don't want it to, you know, if we lose in that kit, you know, it could be one of that, could be the scenario of the old Man United third strip, I think, or something. They, you know, the old, it was a grey strip they used.
Yes.
They refused to wear it after that, didn't they? In fact, they went in at half time, didn't they? And
they changed it because the players said they couldn't see each other.
No. Black. I love the shirt. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just not. I think it's more of a money-making PR stunt, to be honest. Yeah, that's what it feels like, anyway.
And that is a fair point to have. Many will probably at home be thinking the same thing. Mike, Alex, is it an announcement issue for you? Because for me, I think it's a little bit clumsy. You know, like why are we having it? Why are we doing it? Is it just a marketing stunt, as sort of Mike suggests? Is there a hard and fast reason? You know, I've seen some great suggestions online as to why you could do it, but none of those were given so far as the reason why we're doing it.
It wouldn't surprise me if the club have obviously seen what a buzz this shirt has created, and as for, in all honesty, we've obviously got our away kit, if you like. What opportunities are we actually going to get are the fans actually going to get to see the players in that kit that's caused all this hoo-ha? I think it's not a nice word. You know, and for me, people saying about the away game, you know, if we're going to do it and let's just say it's a cynical promotional tool, let's just play that and say, what would you rather do? Would you rather do that promotional tool at our ground where we're going to have 28,000 in there with it? Or would you rather do it away at Aki Stanley when it's not going to have that big of an impact?
It's a fair point. And we've got two people going to come on and have their say about this topic as well. But how many times have you watched the football game? Straight answer. Just an instant, whatever comes to your mind. How many times have you watched a game of football and thought, do you know what, I like that kit, I'm going to buy that kit? Anybody? Anybody has ever sat on Sky and watched the team and thought, I didn't know that was their kit?
For me, the Adidas kit was the one. Adidas missed a massive trick with that one. I just thought it just looked, for me that just looked spot on. Look, it's not the end of the world that we're playing black. We've got to win with it, otherwise it becomes a bogey colour.
But then I do think people don't like being sold to. Like people football. This is my opinion, of course. Football fans will buy anything their club tends to put out. If it's got the club kit, the club crest on it, football fans will flock and buy it because it's their club. They love their club deeply and unreservedly, and they're proud to wear the colours of their football club. What people do not like is when it feels like you're being directly sold to. Like, as I said, it's a marketing thing, and I think that plays into everyday life, doesn't it, Alex? Like, if you're constantly shown something, you tend to think, I'm not going to bother buying that. But it's a bit of a British characteristic we've got about us, really. Like, yeah, I'm not going to buy that now, actually.
Yeah, but I think people were excited about the shirt anyway because that was one of the biggest selling shirts we even announced we're going to play in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't necessarily buy the idea that fans are being sold to because thousands of fans have bought that shirt in their drones before they announced they're going to play in it. I think it is just an opportunity the club have tried to take because they want the fans to have an opportunity to maybe. I could be totally wrong, and I think the club want the opportunity for the fans rather than to see just the players in the promotional material wearing it. I think, I'm not gonna lie, it's going to be quite nice seeing our club in that kit, even if it is one game. And just one thing I want. Just an interesting point, because we've obviously said about kit clashes. Does that mean that Derby are going to play in their away kit? Because if you think about it, Derby playing black and white, if we're going to be all black, then there is no argument to say that is a kit clash.
Yeah, Colin said the more money we get, the better. Good point there about the kit clash. We were dead skint a few years ago, remember, says Colin. AD said it'd be interesting to see if the black shirt shows up on TV. The shirt is still selling, says Nick Muller. Again, and I'll bring in Ipswich Mark in just a second. Again, I just think the announcement is a bit, like Irvin, who's a long time fan of the show, watches the shows. He tweeted in celebration of Black History Month, ITFC should wear the blackouts for the whole month, home and away, ITFC men and women's, which is a great suggestion. Ipswich Mark, bring you in. What do you make of the kit?
I'm here. Don't tell me my line is gone. All right, you there?
No, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. What do you think of the whole, home kit, away kit, third kit debacle?
Turkey, right. I honestly, I'm an old-fashioned traditionalist. I do believe we should wear blue home. Always do. This is probably a once-off thing. It's a marketing thing for TV. I think the club haven't come out quite and said it. We always should wear blue. That's our colour. Black is the third choice. It could be pink, it could be yellow, it could be any colour. But a home game, live on television, front of the world, I think we should be wearing our blue. But I don't care what colour they wear as long as they win. I do think it's a great marketing thing. Are they going to sell thousands of jerseys afterwards? Probably not. Does the jersey look cool? Yeah, it's brilliant. You could use it. Anyone could wear it. Ed Sheeran fans, etc., etc. I hope the Derby don't turn up in their home gear. It'd be a bit farcical if they wore their white and black gear.
You'd like to think they've spoken. No, they will have spoken to each other, and it will be this is what you need to be wearing. Paul P says, "I guess it just must be me. They can come start bollock naked, Mark. And I wouldn't care as they win."
Yeah. Well,
are you the same?
I could bring out the new black.
I don't want to see
it.
Oh, sorry. Well,
he's gone.
What'd you say?
Saying I could bring out the black mankini.
You could, yeah. Let's just be glad it's not the mankini.
I come to the ground like it on the Derby night.
No, you're all right, Phil. What do you make of it all?
Well, I've got another take on it. Well, my take is this. We've stooped so low now that we've actually completely changed our kit in an effort to try and win in front of the Sky cameras for the first time in how many games?
I like it. Too many games. Too many games. I like that.
No, honestly, though, I just kind of wish that the club would have said a bit more about it because, it's left us fans scratching our heads. Are they doing it in honor of, Black Month, or are they just basically doing it for a PR marketing? I'm thinking it's probably more the latter than the former, but I don't know. I'm just as clueless as you are.
A clumsy announcement. Yeah, I would agree. But does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Are you overly bothered? I mean, like, some are really bothered. It's traditional. We should always play in the blue and white at home. It's really, and you've seen it across social media. It really bothers people. Some people, other people. I couldn't give two flying what's it.
Some people are so die-hard about their football. I'm saying I couldn't care less, really. As long as we win, as long as we don't embarrass ourselves against, in front of the Sky cameras on Friday night.
Yes, well, this is it, and we have obviously sat on a post-game show following the last Sky game, and it didn't quite go so well. Let's be honest. But on that show, you had a lot to say for yourself, really, didn't you, Phil?
Yeah, it didn't help that my anger was fueled by the previous week against Sheffield. That the Sheffield game irked me. The Plymouth game I was just angry after the game. 2 weeks on a bounce that I felt that we had. After the Sheffield game, I had a very strong sense that because the home fans started to riot, it kind of, that referee on running on that line, I just think
you weren't a fan, were you? Let's be honest.
I was both. That afternoon, and I thought to myself, I'm saying when I was refereeing, you hear so many people say from the sidelines, "Oh, that referee gave a decision because such player did this." That's a load of bullshit. That's a load of bullshit in my mind. The way I refereed, I tried to stick with the laws of the game as much as I could, which makes things easier. But still tough. But from a fan's point of view, I was so angry that I felt that because the fans started rioting, they got their own way. And I think if the referee had abandoned the game after 70 minutes with Town with 2-0 up, I would have been absolutely seething.
So let me ask you, as our resident self-appointed, I'll appoint you, our referee expert.
It's been 12 years, Martin.
Well, what are your thoughts on this particular challenge here, then, Phil? Is it a booking? Is it the ball was there to be won, or is it? Where are you on this one?
I think it looks like that opponent was probably shagging his missus.
It's a tasty affair.
That's yellow stroke orange for me.
What's the orange? Is it a sin bin? Like you just go and sit in there for 2 minutes and don't come out again?
I'm just joshing.
It's
a red. That's a red, and probably a 6-month ban by the
6 months
county FA or something.
Wait till
I'll be interested to see whether that guy was actually hurt from that challenge.
Hurt?
When he was falling backwards, he kind of sort of cushioned the
yeah, do you know what I mean? But yeah, as in, what kind of injuries he got.
No, he did it for a PR stunt, Mike. He did it for a PR stunt.
What actually gets over?
Because look, it catches him right in the stomach.
But what gets overlooked here is the quality ball from the centre half. That is a ping. That is right on the boot of the fullback. And it's not pretty. Anyway, Phil, we love you. We appreciate you. You look after yourself. Thanks for coming on. We'll speak soon, Phil. Hopefully Saturday at the game.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Good man. Look after yourself. Updates on injured duos. Kamara, particularly, third day on the grass. When he's back, where does he fit in to you?
On the bench.
Okay, why?
Well, you can't throw him straight in there. I mean, no disrespect, but Morsey and Evans have been doing well. And, you've got Dominic Ball there, So, with respects, I've always said it. I said it before. Evans is a 60 to 70 minute player. After that, he gets burnt out. It tends to sort of peter out of the game and lose a bit of concentration. So for someone like Kamara, whatever his name is, to come in, or Ball to come in, that's an asset, isn't it? For me, I know that people are saying how good this midfielder is, but right now we're winning with Evans and Morsey most of the time. I'd say, so you can't just drop either of them just like that. And unless there's a real issue, that's their places to be lost, But the good thing about it is that gives us more strength and depth in the squad, doesn't it? Something that many other teams in this league do not have,
It's another string to the bow, for sure, isn't it, Alex? When you have a player it was a quality of Kamara. Back fully fit.
Absolutely. And for me, I don't think I think I agree with Mike. You do bench him and sort of blood him into the team rather than, say he's back. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's what he's been told, that he's in to sort of, be blooded into the team, and then I don't think we have, we have players, and we have that we play to match up the opposition, don't we now? So he will get opportunities at the time that McKenna feels is right.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it a sign though, Alex, before we move on, just how good our squad is at the moment, that you can have a player like Kamara, bringing him in, and then sort of just nurse him back at a real solid, leisurely pace?
Absolutely. We're not in a position anymore where we're having to rush players back because we haven't got anything, and players having to play where they're not fit because there's no, we're real detriment without them.
Yeah, absolutely.
My biggest question is does Burgess come straight back in? Because before he was injured, he was easily our best left-sided central defender. But the problem is, Fridge has been playing so well recently. Does he deserve to be dropped? Would that be an opportunity to maybe, if Wolfie's suffering a back injury or needs to be rested, you could push Edmonds into the middle and bring Burgess back in?
Good, Alex.
I think with that thing, when I think that is the one thing you don't see McKenna change very often is the defensive element. And I think we've now got, when you look at our centre backs in terms of Wolf, George Edmondson, Richard Keogh, Cameron Burgess, you've got 4 good quality centre backs there, and I think it wouldn't surprise me because if Fridge has come on leaps and bounds, So for me, I think it would maybe send out the wrong message if Cam Burgess comes straight back in. And again, you've got to look at it in the way that he's had a facial injury. He's had a very severe facial injury. So
it's very severe, yeah.
At the end of the day, we've just hit the nail on the head talking about Kamara. We're in a position where if we want to bring Cam back at a leisurely pace and sort of make sure that he's, and not put him in the far line unnecessarily, we've got the squad where we can now do that.
So I mean, Emerson there saying that except Morsey and Walton, no one walks straight to the side. I mean, look, with respect, if hypothetically, say, Morsey wasn't having a few good games, why wouldn't he not be dropped? Same with Walton. If he was having some howlers, he would be dropped. The reality is right now, them players are not. So they are kind of...
And they don't, in general, have those...
Well, no. I mean, look, Walton's distribution in the last game wasn't great. But, and Morsey has had... I didn't think he played particularly well against Sheffield Wednesday, or and sort of lost a bit. He wasn't his usual 7 plus 7.5 and sort of 7.58 plus player against Plymouth. But at the moment you just don't drop Morsey, do you? He just offers so much in that midfield. I just wish maybe the front three would sort of look at Morsey as an example when it comes to putting your foot in. And
well, yeah, you say you didn't play well, but there's a difference between not playing well in a subpar game to your normal high level, and I think even a subpar game for a Morsey is a good game for well, I could think of 2 or 3.
Morsey's 8 plus near enough every game.
And he's subpar games.
If he drops to a 7, that's not a great game for me for Morsey because he's an 8 plus player every week, isn't he?
But certainly still not bad enough to consider his place in the side, which is where I think
it'd have to be pretty poor for him to get dropped.
Jack Messenger is back. It's come a bit more of a back force since the injury to Burgess. I don't think we would necessarily need to throw him back in. Neil Perch, for me, it's Edmondson, but it's all opinions, isn't it? Burgess did nothing wrong when he played. Kevin Keats, like harness, Gov. I'm not quite sure what context he's asking me that question, but he's not better than Connor Chaplin, is Marcus Harness. That I'm just going to tell you that now. That's
Well, I don't think either of them have highlighted.
They've not been good the last couple of weeks. No,
no, they've not. They've not. I don't think either of them have, put themselves in glory in the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks. I think
good
either
chat,
of them
though,
have played well.
it's a good chat to have. Harness versus Chaplin, Chaplin versus Harness. It used to be Drinnan versus Hawkins, Hawkins versus Drinnan. I know. Don't worry. I still have my
just sign Drinnan back. Woo!
No, said ever. Nobody ever. So Lincoln up next.
Saturday.
Oh, God, yeah. Lincoln up next for us. 18th position. They've played 11 games, 14 points. They've won 3 games, drawn 5, and lost 3. They've scored 14, conceded 16. Their top goal scorer is Jack Diamond with 4. Anthony Scully's got 3. Teddy Bishop's got 3. And their top assist maker is also Anthony Scully with 2 assists. So up next is Lincoln. Is it vital to continue the fine form, Alex? You don't want any drop-offs, of course. They could spring a surprise. Where are you ahead of this one?
But for me, I think it is. I think it's vital to go into Derby with momentum. And I think this game, possibly last year or years gone by, would have worried me more than it does now, because I think we've got enough quality to be able. I think it's going to be very similar to the Cambridge game, in all honesty, where we're going to have to work hard, wear them down, and then hit them when they're tired.
Yeah, work them down, hit them when they're tired. Teddy Bishop's their best player, Mike. Well, one of their best players.
Look, I think. I look. Any team at the lower half of the table are a potential banana skin. I've always said that. Me and Colin was saying that last week before, they do draw a lot of games, and they haven't conceded huge amounts, have they? Really?
16, yeah, no, 16, yeah.
It's.
Not massive
I just feel that it's. Always worry. I always worry against these lower teams because they're fighting for survival, aren't they? They're fighting to stay in the league, and none of them teams at the bottom there are going to give us an easy game. They're going to play 11 men behind the ball and hit on the break, and that's my only concern. I think maybe a team like Lincoln might hit us on the break, but I think it's a win game. I think I always say it, another must-win game for us. If we are to keep the momentum and keep the psychology of being a tough team to beat, and I think, at some point, someone is in for a spanking soon. There's no two ways about it. It's going to be a 5-6 at some point. We know that. I happen to like Lincoln. I kind of followed them through the non-league and in League 2 and stuff. And I just like a friend. I call them that friendly sort of, I don't know, local club other than Cambridge. I see them more closer to me than Cambridge, really. But look, I hope it's not them we give a thumping and then we give it to Derby. But if we do, it's just one of them things. But I think it's a win. I think it's a must win again because we want to get the hard work done now, so we ain't got to do it at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And just make the end of the season a better, more easier on us, where players are tired, players are injured, and we ain't got to sit there and say, "Oh, Christ, we've got to win this game, otherwise we're not going to make it." Do the hard work now. Keep the momentum going. Keep the wins going.
Yeah.
And just go forward from there.
Bishop is injured, apparently, says Mike D. Well, that's not a fucking surprising, is it? I mean, I should have guessed that when I said the worst Teddy Bishop, bless him. Why we worrying about Lincoln? Nothing to worry about this year, Paul P. I still don't think we have reached the top form yet, so someone is due a pasting soon. Why not Lincoln? Before I get back to you, Alex, Mike, JD could be in for a big game this Saturday because Jack Diamond, their top goal scorer, according to SofaScore, has been playing on the left side of a front three and a 3-4-3 for Mark Kennedy, obviously ex-Town. So that could see their best player, stat-wise in terms of goals, lined up against John Oydonashin. So we could be in line for a big game from JD this Saturday.
I think JD, look, I have said it, I'll be straight honest with you. I don't think he's been at his best recently. But he's one-on-one, he's definitely one of the best defenders at the club, I'd say, especially one-on-one. Not many get past him. I do sometimes feel he gets drawn in a little bit too inside when he, there's times when he could have gone out wide. And if you are inside and you've got to play on the edge of the box, you need to close him down because, then he's got no option either to try and go past you. And not many people do get past an ASEAN or pass it to another player because, that's what you need to do. I did feel that, like I said, he's still a six and a half plus, but, not the usual 7+8 type performances that he did last season. He's done some good ones this season, but not as consistent as he was last season. Maybe it's down to age. Maybe it's down to expectation. Maybe it's the pressure he's putting on himself. Maybe it's the fans being more critical of Donatian this year. I don't know. But look, he's a quality defender, and he supports that right of Burns or Edwards is playing on that. I prefer Edwards on the left, to be fair, but Burns on the right hand side. And he's always getting down the outside of players and putting balls in. And look, he's got 3 assists this year, so he's done well.
Okay, love it. I've got 3 positions I've pulled out for this Saturday that could be discussed, debated, up for grabs within the lineup. Before I get to them, song for the jukebox. Let's get the poll rocking and rolling. This is where I ask the contributors to put forward a song and why you guys and girls at home should select it to go into our Talking Town jukebox. Alex, what is your song and why should they select it?
I'm going to go for I Can Dream by Skunk and Nancy, which is a very me song. Anyone that knows my music taste. But, the clues in the title. I can dream. We can all dream about where this football club's going.
I like it. We can dream. I can dream. You can dream. We can all dream about where this football club is going. Mike, your song suggestion and why the good people at home watching Talking Town, the most clued on town fans there are, should.
I just feel that we're on a massive. I feel we're on a massive ride and we're on a massive story. So I've gone with Never Ending Story, the theme song to Never Ending Story. That I don't know who sung it, but for me, I'm like, it just feels that. Look, for me, I don't want this to end. I want this story to continue, and it just feels that Ipswich right now are a story that I don't want to end. So that just felt right to me.
I like it. 2 good suggestions. Poll is now in the chat. Get selecting. 1 will be put into the Talking Town jukebox. The perfect accompaniment to any ride to a football game or any ride anywhere, really. I Can Dream or Never Ending Story. Right, 3 position groups. Alex, I'll start with you. The centre of midfield. Sam Morsey is 1 booking away from a suspension. You've got Derby on the horizon. You mustn't overlook Lincoln, of course. Dominic Ball starts the last home game. Is Sam Morsey, Lee Evans nailed on for you, or would you change things up?
Right. I'm getting ready for the comment to come at me with this. I would actually drop Sam Morsey in for Don Ball because I think, no disrespect to Lincoln, but I think it's going to be a very physical game against Lincoln. I think there's going to be tackles flying in.
Yeah.
And I think Don Ball can fulfil that role of, getting in there, getting stuck in. What would concern me, we've all said about how influential Sam Morsey is. Say Sam Morsey gets in and tackles and gets a yellow, and we lose him against Derby. I'd be much more concerned going into Derby about Sam Morsey. And we have a squad for a reason. We have a squad to enable Kieran McKenna to make that call. If we just said, right, we're going to play the same 11 players for every, there'd be no reason to have a 22-man squad. And I just think if you gave me the 2 games and said, right, you can have Sam Morsey for one of them, I'd rather have him against Derby than have him against Lincoln.
So not so much of a dropping, more of a you're looking at the two fixtures. Derby obviously in 10th, Lincoln in 18th, and you're thinking, oh, I want my captain available to me for the live on Sky cameras at home against Derby. And the thing is though, Mike, he's not putting in any old scrub. He's putting in a player that was playing the championship last season. It's not just, I'm finding the nearest academy graduate who can kick a ball. It's Dominic Ball, who many people at the start of the year had starting anyway. It's not that much of a stretch from Alex there, to be fair.
Oh, look. Bloody hell, must be a night of first. Alex, I agree, totally. I'll just look at the next few games after the Derby. If we look at Morsey gets a yellow card against Lincoln, we lose him for Derby. And I just think Derby is a bigger game than Lincoln. No respect to Lincoln or the fans or anything. But if we lose it, look, if he gets a yellow card against Derby, our next game's Port Vale, Charlton, Cheltenham, and Exeter. So, for me, I'm with Alex. I would drop Morsey for this weekend's game. Bring in Ball to work alongside Evans. See whether Kamara's on the bench or whatever. Have Morsey on the bench if we have to.
Kamara won't be on the bench. It's far too.
I think at the end of the day, if we need Morsey to come on, then we can. But I would just hate, in that first 20 minutes when tackles are flying in, say a tackle flies in, Morsey gets a yellow in the first 20 minutes.
He's out for the Derby game.
It could have been avoided by Don Ball flying in, getting that yellow, and we could have him available for the Derby game.
But because it says Morsey plays regardless, every game's a big game. With respects, without Morsey, we could lose some key games. We could lose that key game against Derby. And look, for me, if a player like Morsey's on 4 yellows and he's only one game or whatever he is, for one game away from a what's name, I'd rather lose him for the next game, which is against against Port Vale, than I would lose him for Derby. The end of the day is, we keep fans like Crunch, like everyone, that we're all saying we've got this big squad and we can manage without Morsey for one game, then why not? Look, this is not a Morsey hate podcast. This is a Morsey. No. We want to protect our best player for the next game against Derby, where if he gets a yellow card, it may not hurt us as much as if we got a yellow card in the Lincoln game.
Absolutely. And I'll go back to what you said a second ago. This is two opinions, and there's no right or wrong answer in this. There's two opinions. You either see it this way or you see it this way. No one can say for sure which is the right approach until it happens. And if you play Morsey and in 10 minutes gets a booking, you miss Derby, and then on Derby, you don't have Sam Morsey and you lose the game, then maybe you can have that conversation again. But you're talking again, and I'll go back to what I said a second ago. Dominic Ball played in the championship last season, ladies and gentlemen. This is not anybody you're putting in. This is, if Sam Morsey woke up, God forbid, unwell Saturday morning, you ain't going to be sitting there going, Christ, he's playing Idris El Mazzani away at Hillsborough like last season. You'll be going, Don Ball starts today. Okay, fair point. Playing the championship last season. Good player in his own right. Is he Sam Morsey? Hell no. Sam Morsey is Sam Morsey, and he's the heartbeat of the football team. But it's not a catastrophic cliff that we're falling off here in terms of playing ability. So I don't see who's right, who's wrong. I see two opinions, although be it the same on the platform right now, and some in the chat that's different. Love it. That's what football's about. Up front, another hot topic of conversation. You've got a number of players vying for that start. Mike, who's your striker for this Saturday, and why are they your striker?
Look, for me, home, Ladapo. I think he played really well the last time he played. I think he's got to start. Jackson, for me, last game, headless chicken. So the one up front, which is how we play, has got to be Ladapo for me.
Yeah, Big Fred. There's an argument, Mike, that confidence is running through Big Fred's vein right now. And why would you want to take him out of the game at any point? Because strikers, they thrive off the confidence, and he's getting the goals, he's getting the opportunities all of a sudden, and you want to sort of ride that until the confidence disappears and he can't hit a barn door again.
Well, I mean, look, for me, like I said, I wouldn't start Chappers either. I'd bring him off the bench based on his based on his performances of late, you know, people making excuses like, oh, he's got no space for this and no space for that, and that's why. Oh, look, okay, so let's see how let's keep him on the bench. Let's bring him on 60 minutes where players at the back, the opposition players at the back are going to be tired and stuff like that, you know, and then see whether he can do anything when he has got some space, you know, like he has before. You know, Chaplin's a goal scorer. You know, like I said, I think Edwards has got to start as well. I think Edwards gets a start ahead of probably Harness and Chappers right now with on that left hand side, front left off, front of Leif Davis. I would absolutely. Edwards has been on fire, and the way he runs at the defence is unbelievable.
Okay, so before I come to you, Alex, with the striker, I want to write this down. Your front four, Mike, is Ladapo at the top.
Yeah.
Burns out wide on the right.
Yeah.
Who's in behind the striker?
Who's in behind the striker?
In your
look, I'd play Harness. And
okay,
swap it around.
Okay, so you play Harness, then Edwards. Okay, perfect. Yeah. We'll come back to that. I'll circle that. Yeah, Alex, you're centre forward first of all. Who's up front for you on Saturday and why?
Again, I've got to go with Mike, and I've got to,
fuck me. What is happening tonight?
We're sharing the love.
I would say Big Fred, and I think we play better when we've got Big Fred in the team, because it's not just his goal scoring ability, it's his ability to be that physical presence up front, to hold the ball up, to enable your Edwards, your Burns, your Harness, your Chaplin to run beyond him. You know, I tend to find when we haven't got the dapper, you tend to find like people like TJJ or Caden Jackson go looking for the ball rather than being that focal point up top to bring others into the game. So for me, for me, it's Big Fred all day long.
Okay, perfect. I've got right wing down here, but it could be left wing for you, whichever one it may be. Carl Edwards, does he play for you, Alex? And if he does play, where does he play? Is he playing ahead of Wes Burns again? Is he coming in on the left-hand side for what would be Marcus Harness, or are you sliding Harness in like Mike is? How are you configuring the front four?
He does.
Alex?
For me, it's Ladapo up top, Wes Burns on the right, Edward on the left, Connor Chaplin in the 10.
Okay. Yeah. So the only difference you've really got there is Chaplin to Harness over Mike. So first of all, Edwards, why are you starting him out wide on the left? Is it the right hand at all? What about his game recently have you really enjoyed and I think you get the most out of?
He's worked hard. He's he's come into starting to see a little bit of the player that I think we all thought we'd got when we saw him against like Cheltenham away. Mm-hmm. I think the only way that, and I think he's a confidence player. The way you build on confidence is showing faith in him. And if you look at the games that we've got, he obviously came on against Cambridge, started against Morecambe.
Yep.
But then if you think about it this way, he can start Saturday. And I do believe we've also got the Pizza Cup midweek.
We do next Tuesday.
Yeah, he can also start then, and if you think about it, that's a good solid chunk of minutes that Edwards has had.
Very true. And Chaplin over Harness over Chaplin. Alex, before I go to Mike, why Chaplin over Harness?
For me, again, I just think Chaplin is our best 10. He's not been at it, but if you total up the times when Chaplin hasn't been at it compared to when he has, I think he's got credit in the bank. And I do believe didn't McKenna try and play Harness in the middle in another game this season? It didn't pan out.
I think it was away when Chaplin was carrying a bit of an injury, if memory serves me correctly.
And everyone said it. I think it might have even been the Aki game.
Could well have been. Yeah, it could well have been. You're right.
I think it was, because I think we were all saying about do we bring Chaplin on at all? I think I did the pre-show. I think that was the conversation we had, and
correct. Well remembered.
A lot of people sort of said, you don't risk him, but then that game didn't. Harness didn't particularly cover himself in glory in that 10 position, and it didn't really change till Chappers came on. So I think for me, Harness's best position is on that left-hand side. I think Chaplin's the best 10 at the club, in all honesty.
Mike Chaplin, people say playing badly. He's not on a great run. 11 starts, appeared in 13 games so far, 6 goals, 2 assists, 2 big chances created, 1.6 key passes. Come on, I mean, it might be in a little bit of a down period, but his down period is still overall fucking good season so far. Like,
he's had a good season, but I mean, Norman said a while ago, Harness gives the ball away more than Chaplin. I'm thinking, what game is he watching? Because I'm sorry, but Chaplin's biggest weakness is giving the ball away.
Do you want to guess, before I look at Marcus Harness, what kind of Chaplin's accurate pass completion rate per game is? Our percentage. Do you want to have a guess? 77%. Let's play a bit of Bruce Forsyth. Price is right. Do you think Marcus Harness will be higher or lower than 77%?
I'd be surprised if he wasn't higher. Because
you're saying higher.
Like I said, it's all about. I know it's all about opinions, but
this is a stat. It's not an opinion.
But is it based on even? Is it based on even game time? No, that's the problem, isn't it?
No, because Harness has started in games as well, but appeared in 13. But no, accurate pass completion rate higher and lower than 77%. Do you think, Mike? Just for a bit of fun.
Well, I think it was behind that. To be honest, I'd be surprised if it ain't.
Would you say higher or lower?
I'd go lower, because obviously he plays left-hand side rather. So I think potentially you're at risk of giving the ball away more out there than in the middle.
71% is Marcus Harness. So we're talking, certain body parts. We're talking certain body part hairs, yeah.
But look, I've always said it. There's times when Harness could do a really good simple pass.
But that's not his position, though, Mike, is it? His position is to make that cute pass in behind. It doesn't always come off.
But with respect, it's been very much.
I'm getting on a t-shirt.
Look, I know he's got some goals for us and everything, but
acknowledge me, Mike.
Sorry, look, for me, like I said, the last couple of games I've watched him live and on telly, I just thought, oh my days, what are you doing? And I weren't the only one saying it. When at the Cambridge game, I sat and was talking to some fans there, and they were like, "Look, he's got to go off," and he did go off. And we looked better, and that's the reality of it. Look, Chaplin is got 15 goals. Like Crunchy rightly says, there is 15 goals in his locker, and there's a big difference between trying to create and actually pulling it off. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because the problem is he doesn't pull it off 9 times out of 10. It either goes badly wrong, or it just he's looking for that Hollywood pass. Now at the end of the day is Evans has done more. Yawn.
Come on, it's Norman. Norman loves you.
No, I've got no time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, that's a clip I'm going to dig out for the YouTube funnies. That is a good one. That one.
Yeah. I just feel that Chaplin should, if he could just keeps the eye through it. No, but he's not an eye of a needle player. And look, with respect, Harness has had less time on the pitch than Chappers, and stats can be. They have. Stats can be manipulated. We all know that. So look, for me, I'm not saying that Chaplin is not a good player or shouldn't. For me, I think Harness. I just think we've always playing Chaplers and bringing on Harness. I'd like to see Josh Russell, do you know what? You're getting on my tits.
No. He's actually trying. He's actually got it mixed up there because you're actually bigging up harness, and he says what Giants have a blinder, and you're actually bigging up harness. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's not how we operate.
Sorry, I read it wrong then.
It's not how either way. It's not how we operate. You did win the jukebox though. Well done with Never Ending Story. But Matt, I want you to sing it. Can you sing it?
Do I look like a singer?
I don't know. Do you look like a singer? What does the singer look like with respects?
I can't sing to save me freaking life.
No. Well, okay, fair enough. Right.
I'm a 50s mind manager mode. Do you know what I mean? What can I say?
4-4-2. Yeah. The Cruncher says Mike is stuck in the dark ages. Normally would have ripped up the team formation, everything after losing at Plymouth. It was a fair point. You would have done. Let's not come on. You would have done.
Play that again.
We're moving on.
What did he say?
He said, "You're a man that's stuck in the dark ages. You would have ripped up the team formation, everything after losing at Plymouth."
Yeah, well, shows how much Cruncher knows about me as a football manager, then, doesn't it? Eh?
Well, you are a 4-4-2 Mike Bassett merchant.
I'm not 4-4-2 though. Anybody that knows me knows that I play 3-5-2, 3-5-2, 5-3-2. They're my formations. They're the type of. I love players that can play them in them positions because I think that's one of the most damaging formations you can do to a team if you have the right players. It does come to the right players, I agree. And sometimes you can play a 4-3-3. I don't like one up front. Never have done, never will do. I know it's this new modern age fashionable type stuff. But football ain't really that hard if you strip back the basics. It really isn't.
Okay. Score prediction then for the weekend. Saturday, Lincoln at home. Before it comes to the ticket giveaway, score prediction, please, Mike, very quickly.
I'm going 2-0.
2-0.
And I don't think we'll score in the first half. I think it'll be a 2-0, and it'll be another similar game to Cambridge.
Okay. And again, reminder, we don't speak like that on the platform, Mike. Just, I don't care what they say in the chat. We
but
rise above it. That's what I'm saying on it. That's what I'm saying on it. That's what I'm saying on it. Otherwise, if I don't say something, there'll be someone there that clips it up and says he didn't say it. Like when Rich came on his little thing last season, there'll be someone that says I was laughing or saying this or saying that. So I've got to say it because it is not how we.
Up what they like. It don't bother me.
But it does bother me. It's not how we operate. Alex, your score prediction, please.
I've always said it's going to be very similar to the Cambridge game. So I think it'll be. I'm going to go 2-0. I think Lincoln will come with a game plan, and I think it'll be down to us to unlock that game plan. So I don't think I think they'll be organised. I think they'll know what they do. And I think we'll only see the best of us once we score, and they have to come on to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you know what? Just once, I'd love to be in a dressing room where you're going to play Man City, or you're a smaller team playing a bigger team, and you just turn up and you go, "No game plan tonight, lads. Just go out and play." Because everyone says it's a football cliche, innit? They'll come with a game plan. I just love me like there's no game plan tonight. Just go and play. Just go and enjoy football like you used to when you're under 10s. Just if you see a ball, kick it. If not, do what that bloke did on the Twitter clip and just kick something else instead. But just enjoy playing football. And then afterwards, actually say that in the press conference. Yeah, we had no game plan. We just wanted to enjoy the game of football. But 2-0 seems the most popular result in the chat, which, I'll take it. I think I've gone 3-0 in the prediction league. I think I went 3-0, which is, quite high. We have got a ticket to give away. No, we've got 2 for 1. Crunch will correct me. I'm going to click the button and just spin the wheel. And the winner, I don't know who these numbers correlate to, by the way. I'm just told by Rich how many people are in the draw. He says 29. I've put 29 in. And your winner is number 17. I don't know who that is, but well done, number 17. Rich will be in touch with you. Congratulations. Enjoy the game. Rich, just let me know before I round up if I have to draw another one. Do please let me know. While he does so, hit the like button, subscribe, become a Talking Town Fist Standard today by hitting the join button on YouTube or heading to our Ko-Fi site. get involved in our free prediction league. You can still pick up lots and lots of points. You might even overtake me, which, to be fair, isn't going to be too difficult because I keep putting Norris to lose 20-0. One day, I swear it might come in. One day it might come in.
Not in a million, unfortunately. As much as we all wish that to happen, that ain't never happening.
I would rather be wrong 100 times than predict them to win one game.
I just don't care how long as they lose. I couldn't care as long as they lose.
There you go. Rob Moore is the winner, says the Cruncher, and I'm drawing one number. Brilliant. He is the Fisherman. He is going to get reprimanded when this show goes off the air. Don't you worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm fuming. But he is Alex Wilson. Lionel Von Rock. I am the Gov. This is Talking Town, an FCA finalist 2022. I'm hoping the judges don't choose this one as a one to judge. Oh, good God. But either way, we'll see you very soon. Fuck's sake, man.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.